An opener for the No Theater is taking audiences right into the ring. I mean, it's going to grab you. I mean, almost quite literally. The latest show, Girl in the Red Corner, shares the story of a woman who joins a gym and takes up mixed martial arts as a way to get control of her own life. Actors Tess Talbot and Abby Esmena join us to talk about that show. And we talked about it a little bit during the commercial break and whatnot. But I mean, let me get out of the way. Look at that picture. How do you block a show like this? I mean, it's got to be pretty intense, just the physicality of putting a show together where you've got to be doing mixed martial arts. How does that work?
It takes a lot of rehearsal time.
Seriously.
A lot that goes into it.
We had a fight choreographer. Her name is Kay Jenny Jones, and she was assisted by Jeremy Pender from Vision MMA over in Oakley.
Okay.
And they worked with us for many hours in the rehearsal process, figuring out the best way to tell the story within these fights. They're slightly scripted, like described in the script, but then, based on our own physical capabilities and what looks cool and how it builds the story, we put those together with their help.
And background-wise, I know you said you've been training for a while, and you had a little bit in your background from a recreational standpoint. How much did that inform what you were doing in the show, and how important has the training leading up to the show been for you?
For me, it's been instrumental. As soon as I was cast, I reached out to Jeff Robeson from Club MMA in Western Hills, and he's been training me privately for 2 months, and it was an absolute necessity for me because I had no background in the actual fight world.
And it definitely was a great base going into this. Just the knowledge of the techniques and the cardio, really.
Well, and let's get into then the story itself, because in the midst of all this fighting, you have to tell a story too, which is its own demand, I would guess, from a cardio standpoint. Is you got to go for the fight, and then you got to kind of tell a story and all of those kinds of things. So let's talk about the story itself, because it's not just about what happens in the ring.
So our director, Tamara Winters, had a great statement before one of our final rehearsals, is that this play is about anyone who's been made to feel less than in their life. So the story is centered around Halo, who does go to the MMA gym to jumpstart her dead-end, experiences thus far. But every character, Abby plays my trainer, Gina, they're all fighting for something. They're feeling like they're at the bottom of the barrel, and they can see the light at the top, and they're trying to get there. And I think, it's a beautiful story about relationships with friendships that blossom through conflict, family drama that manifests itself in emotional fights versus physical fights, personal fights. How do I make the path to where I want to be?
What's worth fighting for is a huge underlying theme for all of it.
Who do you think is the audience for this particular show? How young is too young maybe to come see a show like this?
We had an 8-year-old there the other week, and seemingly really enjoyed the show. I think the physicality lens, helped that. Some of the situational drama is a little more like PG-13.
You'd want maybe mom or dad to kind of let a younger one maybe know what they were in for before they walked in the room, kind of a thing.
And the violence is in your face. So if you're not
well, because the No is a pretty intimate space. You're right on top of people as you're right on top of people, for lack of a better way to say it. Well, that's cool. So what has been the response from people who have seen the show either in previews or coming to a dress rehearsal, that kind of thing? What kind of feedback have you gotten?
They have loved it. I had friends who are not regular theater goers, and they actually have an MMA background, and they were so impressed with the realism and just how true to the form we were, as well as the story that went with it. So I think we've created a monster as far as they're probably going to come back and see a few more shows now, thankfully.
That's awesome.
But,
That's awesome. Well, best break a leg.
Thank you.
Yet we're fighting now. I feel very strange to say that, but to both of you, and thank you for coming in.
Thank you.
Girl in the Red Corner at the No Theater, Cincinnati, runs through August 17th. Go to local12.com, click on the Get It Now links for more details. It is 9:52. We'll be right back.